Hello, my friend. Welcome back to another episode. If you're new to me, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Kelly Jackson. I've been a talent acquisition leader and corporate recruiter for a few decades, and I share all things to educate, equip, and empower you as midlife corporate professionals in our ever changing workforce. So on Tuesday, we do a live session at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And last Tuesday, we talked about some workforce news. And one of the things we talked about were some of the layoffs that were occurring in a 1 week span. I think over 4 days, there were several layoffs happening. And I shared there that you can also check out a database that will tell you if a company is laying off. So I wanted to follow up on that and share this video with you on how to do so. If you want to check out that live session, I'll put a card right here and you can click on that and check it out. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I want to show you how to get to this information and do this for yourself. That way you can see it. Let me just see if we just share the window. I just want to make sure I'm able to switch through if I can. Okay, let's try this. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to go to Google, and what you're going to do is you're going to type in WARN Act, right? And the first one that comes up, that should come up, is the U.S. Department of Labor. That's the one that you want. So you want to click on that. And let's see what it is first. What is the WARN Act? It's a Worker Adjustment Retraining Notification Act, and it helps to ensure advance notice in cases of qualified plant closings and mass layoffs. The U.S. Department of Labor has compliance assistance materials to help workers and employers understand their rights and responsibilities under the provisions of the WARN Act. Now, you can go through this and read this. There's a worker's guide that is looks to be very helpful. And I say that because you can download this and keep this. Again, we don't want anything to happen in terms of severance or I'm sorry, layoffs or anything like that, but you want to know your rights, right? Again, I said earlier that this channel is about educating, equipping, and empowering you. This will empower you to know what to expect, right? You want to be prepared as possible. So it gives you your rights as an employee. It tells you what's protected, what's not protected, any transfers. Was there a receipt of notice? What the notice must contain? Was there an extension? All of the things that you need to know as it relates to layoffs. So I would just get this and download it and keep this and go through it if that's something of interest to you, right? You can click right here where it says Workers Guide. And then it has other information on here, the laws, the provisions. We're going to go through some of this so that I can share with you what it all entails. Now, there's another link here for workers, right? And here are some of the things that is available if you are a part of a layoff. There's something called rapid response services for workers, which is really great. If you're being laid off from your job, it's one of the most traumatic events you can experience in life. However, you do not need to go through this transition alone. Working with your employer, some services and resources can be brought to you on site at your company before your layoff date. These services and resources are part of a program called Rapid Response, which will customize services and resources to your needs and the needs of your company to get you back to work as soon as possible and minimize the disruptions in your life that a layoff will cause. Now, the Rapid Response team will provide you with information on the means to maintain an income, like unemployment insurance, information on health insurance options, access to skills, upgrading and training resources, and much more. Services and resources vary state by state and by specific layoff situations. So be sure to attend rapid response sessions when they're offered so that you're aware of the full array of benefits for which you may be eligible for. Now, again, they talk about the notice of layoffs and their responsibilities for that. So rapid response and what they do. Here's some of the services: career counseling, resume preparation, interviewing skills workshops, local labor market, unemployment, education, health benefits, connections to other re-employment services, benefits of rapid response to workers, trade-related layoffs and plant closing. So they have a lot of information. So make sure you tap into this. Again, familiarize yourself with this. Again, we're not wanting anything to happen, but again, this is something that you'll want to bookmark and have available in case. And again, there's some FAQs here as well. Now, another thing that you want to be mindful of is, as it mentioned in here, it varies. It says right here, services and resources vary by state and by specific layoff situations. And I'm going to share with you in a second the database of potential companies that are laying off. And I'll share with you why I say potential in a second. So, part of the rapid response responsibilities, this is by state. So, I looked at Georgia and the Department of Labor. I like to use official, government official, if I can, factual, truthful information, right? And so, this is what I'm sharing with you. Now, how I got here, I just did my state. Let me go back. Let me just show you. Where were we? So you can click on your state's rapid response team. You see right here, contact your state's rapid response team. So I just did Georgia, and it gave different information, company closing and layoffs, visit to access resources and that are available to you. If it's a company that needs to file one, this is how they do it. So again, there's layers to this that you can go through. So there are services and things like that available to you. So I want you to be mindful of that. Now, the thing that I know you came here for is, how do you find out if a company is laying off? So what you'll see running around on the internet is there is a WARN database. When COVID happened, right, this thing was really hot. But before I get there, let me show you one other thing. Let me show you one other thing that you want to be mindful of. Now, I think this was put together by a group of attorneys because of what it says right here: employment lawyers who make a difference. Again, I only like to look at government and official websites, but they are, it looks like, a group of attorneys who put this together. This will give you information on the differences, and as you can see, there's federal versus state protection as it relates to mass layoffs. This is the only thing I could find in terms of information. So you may want to go through here and see what's the difference between a federal WARN Act, right? There's also, many states have passed their own versions of the WARN Act, sometimes called mini WARN Acts, right? So you want to go through here and see where your state is. There's California, there's New York, there's Illinois, New Jersey. And as you can see here, when you're comparing mass layoff protections as it relates to the state, employers must provide 60 days notice, whereas federally, length of notice varies from 60 to 90 days, right? From the state applies to companies with at least 100 employees, where they have to provide a WARN notification. It only applies to companies with at least 100 employees. At the federal level, it applies to companies with as few as 50 employees. For the state, a mass layoff must affect at least a third of employees or over 500 employees. At the federal level, a mass layoff can affect as few as 25 employees. At the state level, WARN Act violations require employers to pay 60 days of back pay and benefits. At the federal level, WARN Act violations require employers to pay 60 days of back pay and benefits. So again, you want to be informed. You want to know where you stand, what your state says, and all the things. And this site, and I'll put all these links in the description so you'll have them. Now, let's get to the database. What you want to do, let me see, hopefully this is going through. You want to Google WARN list, okay? And you want to look for the black logo right here. You want to click on this. Now, let me say this. Let me say this. This was created by a person. This isn't an official company. This isn't a government website. This is a person. This person is this guy here. I don't know this guy. I don't know if he's legit. I have no idea, but I'm putting this out there as a disclaimer, because you'll see around the internet, people will tell you to look at the WARN list. Now, he may be totally legit. I don't know, but I do know, as a result of COVID and things that happened, and even prior to COVID, he's been doing this a long time. And I don't think he's a bad guy, but I just wanted to put that out there, right? So he's a graduate of the University of Wisconsin. His name is Omer, and he put all this together. God bless him, right? And a lot of people use this. So just wanted to put that out there. So now, how do we look at the data? What you're going to do is find your state. And again, he's been doing this a long time, it looks like. And now with AI, I'm sure he's got some automation going here. So You never know. So let's pick a state. Let's go to North Carolina. And what you're going to do is when your state comes up, then you click on the link for the data. And you'll see that it's just a Google sheet, excuse me, and it's view only. So the first thing you want to do so you can manipulate the document is do file, make a copy, and save it as your own. Because right now you can't filter, you can't do anything, but you want to make a copy so you can manipulate this any way you'd like. So as you can see, it provides the state, the company, the city, the number of workers, the date that the WARN notice was received, the effective date of the layoff, and if it was a closure or a layoff. Now, one of the things I want you to be mindful of is, I don't know if North Carolina, but back in the day, we used to use this, okay? And they had one that was unknown. I can't remember what it was. Oh, here it is. Here's one. Oh, layoff not known at this time. So if I was filtering and kind of keeping an eye on this, what I would do is I would filter for the WARN receive date. That's the critical date, right? When did they receive notice that National Spinning Co. was going to lay off? On November 10th, they received notice. Effective, they're going to lay off on January 15th. So I would filter layoffs and that unknown category. I don't really care about the closures because they're closed, right? As you can see, these are older dates, the closed ones. You can see that these are permanently closed. The ones that are layoff, let's find the one that was unknown, is what I would be looking for. So as you know, as you can see, let me find it again. Like for this one, Guilford College, this was a COVID one. They had the notice on July 1st, but again, it says layoff not known. It still says July 1st. So if I was looking at this and I filtered the dates and the closure or layoff, even if it's not known, I want to know if they sent a notice, right, to say that we're going to be having a layoff, right? So again, make your own copy based off your state or any other state that you're interested in, and then you can filter by what you find important. So this is the database that everyone's talking about. Let me come back to you. Let me know in the comments if you've heard of this database, if you've used this database, if you'll use the database, and if this was helpful or informative for you. All right. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Click that little bell right there below this video. That way you're notified every time we go live, which is every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and every time we upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.